Before the 19th century, women inhabited a world of limited rights and opportunities. Their lives were largely confined to the domestic sphere. Marriage often meant a loss of legal identity, subsumed by their husbands. Education was considered unnecessary for women, and professional careers were largely inaccessible. Women had no legal right to own property or control their earnings. Their voices were silenced, their potential unrealized. This systemic inequality was deeply ingrained in societal norms and legal structures. Women were viewed as the weaker sex, both physically and intellectually. Their primary roles were seen as wives and mothers, responsible for managing the household and raising children. This limited view of women's capabilities denied them the chance to contribute fully to society. The lack of legal rights left women vulnerable and dependent. Without the right to own property, they were at the mercy of their husbands or male relatives. Denied access to education and professional careers, they had limited opportunities for economic independence. This lack of autonomy perpetuated a cycle of inequality, trapping women in a system that denied them basic rights and freedoms. The mid-19th century witnessed the rise of a powerful movement advocating for women's rights. Women, tired of their marginalized status, began to demand equality in all spheres of life. They challenged the prevailing notion that women were intellectually and physically inferior to men. They sought the right to education, to work, to own property, and most importantly, to vote. Education was recognized as a key to empowerment. Women argued that education would equip them with the knowledge and skills necessary to participate fully in society. They demanded access to the same quality of education as men, believing it would enable them to pursue careers and contribute meaningfully to their communities. The right to work and control their earnings was another central demand. Women sought economic independence, believing it essential for their autonomy and well-being. They challenged discriminatory hiring practices and advocated for equal pay for equal work. The demand for suffrage, the right to vote, became a rallying cry for the women's rights movement. Women recognized that without the right to vote, they lacked a voice in the political process. They argued that suffrage was essential for achieving true equality and representation. This burgeoning movement faced fierce opposition from those who sought to maintain the status quo. Opponents argued that granting women equal rights would disrupt the natural order of society. They feared that women's suffrage would undermine traditional family structures and lead to social chaos. The struggle for women's suffrage was a long and arduous journey, marked by both triumphs and setbacks. Women organized, protested, and lobbied tirelessly for their right to vote. They faced ridicule, imprisonment, and even violence for daring to challenge the established order. Yet their determination never wavered. The first organized demand for women's suffrage in the United States took place in 1848 at the Seneca Falls Convention. This historic gathering issued a declaration of sentiments that boldly proclaimed the equality of women and demanded the right to vote. Suffragettes employed various tactics to advance their cause. They organized marches, distributed pamphlets, and lobbied officials. The movement gained momentum in the early 20th century, with organizations like the National American WomensSuffrage Association leading the charge. World War I had a profound impact on the suffrage movement. With men away fighting, women took on new roles and responsibilities on the home front. The fight for women's rights has been marked by significant milestones and spearheaded by courageous trailblazers who dared to challenge the status quo. These individuals and events have paved the way for greater equality and opportunity for women. One of the most pivotal moments was the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920. This landmark amendment granted women the right to vote, a victory that had been decades in the making. SusanBanthony, a tireless advocate, played a crucial role. She co-founded the National WomensSuffrage Association and dedicated her life to securing voting rights for women. Her unwavering commitment helped to galvanize the movement and bring about this historic change. Another prominent figure was Alice Paul, a leading strategist of the suffrage movement. She founded the National Woman's Party and organized the Silent Sentinels, a group of women who picketed the White House. Paul's activism was instrumental in securing the 19th Amendment. The achievements of these trailblazers have had a profound impact on the lives of women. Their efforts have led to greater access to education, employment, and political participation. Their legacy continues to inspire generations of women to fight for equality and justice.